It all started when Kandi Burruss, the beloved star of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, made an unexpected confession that sent shockwaves through her fans, her family, and even the public. For months, the world had heard nothing from her. And when she finally spoke, it wasn't just a simple revelation, it was a bombshell. Kandi wasn't just dealing with a small problem or a little misunderstanding. What she said next was something far bigger. She revealed something so painful, so deeply personal, that it left everyone speechless. It wasn't just an affair that had torn apart a marriage. It was betrayal of the highest degree. And the person who had betrayed her was someone she thought she could trust more than anyone else, her husband, Todd Tucker. But this wasn't just about him cheating on her. No, Kandi's confession was far worse. She had found out about Todd's affair in the most devastating way possible. It wasn't some random phone call or some piece of gossip from a friend. Kandi discovered Todd's infidelity in the one place she thought was safe. It was inside her own restaurant in Atlanta. Imagine that, a place where she had worked hard to build something for herself, for her family, a place she considered home, turned into a stage for betrayal. Kandi's voice shook as she shared the details of how she found out. "I found out about Todd's affair inside my own restaurant," she said. Her fans could feel the raw pain in her words, the heartache that poured through the screen. The worst part? This wasn't just some fling. It wasn't a one-time mistake. No, this was a full-blown relationship. Todd had been hiding it from Kandi for months. Kandi's shock was palpable, and her pain was so real it left everyone who heard her story in disbelief. Her anger wasn't just because Todd had been unfaithful. It was because of where and how it happened, the place where she thought she could trust him the most. And as if that wasn't bad enough, Todd's reaction to the entire situation shocked everyone even more. Instead of expressing remorse, instead of apologizing, Todd did the exact opposite. He fired back with anger. He denied everything that Kandi said. "I don't know what she's talking about," Todd snapped, his voice full of frustration and defiance. He wasn't just denying the affair. He was calling her a liar, dismissing the pain she had just revealed to the world. The emotional blow to Kandi was immense. How could he do this to her? After everything they had been through, after everything she had invested in their relationship, he was rejecting the truth. But here's where it gets interesting. Kandi wasn't done yet. She didn't just sit back and let Todd's denial slide. No, she wasn't about to let him escape without facing the truth. She had proof, real, undeniable proof that Todd had been lying all along. And that's when the next shocking twist happened. Kandi revealed a picture, a photo that would leave anyone stunned. It was a picture of Todd taken inside her own restaurant. Todd, in what looked like an intimate moment, was sitting close to another woman. This wasn't just any photo. This was a moment that Kandi had captured herself. She had taken the picture, and it was damning. Todd wasn't just in a business meeting or a casual meeting. This was a date, a betrayal right in the heart of the business they had built together. Kandi's voice shook as she revealed the photo, the evidence that her husband had been hiding this affair right under her nose. But Todd wasn't ready to give up his lie just yet. He still denied everything. "That's not what it looks like," Todd claimed, trying to brush it off as something it wasn't. But the more he denied, the clearer it became that his silence spoke volumes. His refusal to accept responsibility only deepened the gap between him and Kandi. Now, as Kandi continued to speak about her pain and the betrayal she had suffered, she couldn't help but reflect on her own choices. Had she allowed herself to be blind to the cracks in their relationship for too long? The more she spoke, the more she realized that Todd's refusal to admit his guilt was a reflection of something much bigger. The emotional rift between them had been building for a long time, and the affair was just the breaking point. And then, just when it seemed like there was no way to move forward, Kandi made a decision that nobody could have predicted. Kandi's decision to confront Todd wasn't just a reaction. It was a calculated, emotional move that sent shockwaves through everyone around her. When she finally spoke the truth, there was no turning back. Her marriage, her family, everything that she had worked so hard to build was crumbling before her eyes. But Kandi wasn't about to sit idly by and let Todd get away with his betrayal. The truth wasn't just about airing out dirty laundry. It was her way of reclaiming control. But as the fallout continued, the question on everyone's mind was this: would Kandi and Todd's relationship survive? Could a marriage that had been destroyed by infidelity and lies ever be fixed? The answer wasn't as simple as anyone thought. As the world watched, Todd's reaction to being exposed was nothing short of shocking. Instead of owning up to his mistakes, he took the same route he always did: denial. He stood by his earlier claim, "I don't know what she's talking about." The more he denied, the more it seemed like he was trying to convince himself rather than the people around him that everything was okay. It wasn't. It never was. But Todd's refusal to apologize was an emotional dagger to Kandi. It wasn't just a matter of him lying. It was about the fact that he didn't even care enough to own up to the mess he had created. And then came the next shocking twist. After everything had unfolded, Kandi found herself at an emotional crossroads. She had been brave enough to expose Todd's affair and tear apart the walls of silence he had built around their marriage. But now, with the world watching, the question lingered: could she keep going forward with Todd in her life? Kandi knew that if she wanted to survive this, if she wanted to rebuild herself, she couldn't keep living in the shadow of his lies. She couldn't stay in a relationship where trust was shattered beyond repair.
This wasn't just a story about a man who cheated. It was a story about a woman who had been humiliated, betrayed, and now had to face the reality that her entire world was crashing down. Candace wasn't doing this for revenge. She wasn't doing this to hurt Todd. She was doing this because she was hurting. "Todd doesn't want to be with me anymore," she said, her voice filled with sorrow. The truth in her words was undeniable, and as she spoke, everyone could hear the weight of her heartache. What made this situation even more painful was the fact that Todd had already made it clear that he wanted to separate. He had chosen his daughter Kaela over Candace, and Candace, already struggling with the betrayal, now had to face the crushing reality that her marriage was on the brink of collapse. Todd was done with her, and the separation was only the beginning of what would become a long, painful process. As if things weren't complicated enough, Candace started to question something else: the role of Kaela, Todd's daughter from his first marriage. Candace had always had a strained relationship with Kaela, and now, as Todd's actions continued to unfold, she began to wonder if the tension between them had contributed to the mess they were now in. Was Todd's devotion to his daughter one of the reasons he was pulling away from Kandi? Or was there something deeper going on, something Candace had missed? Candace was already emotionally exhausted. She had always been the strong one, the one who held everything together. But now, for the first time, she was questioning everything: her marriage, her family, and even her own role in all of this. She had given everything to Todd, and now it felt like she was losing herself in the process. Todd's refusal to speak the truth was making everything worse. It was as if he was running away from the consequences of his actions. And with every passing day, the pain for Kandi deepened, making her wonder if she was simply a victim of circumstances, or if she had played a role in allowing this drama to unfold.
Kandi made a decision that would change everything. She needed to move on, but what came next was even more dramatic than anyone could have predicted. Kandi, still raw from the emotional wounds of Todd's betrayal, walked into their home after being hospitalized. She was already done with the years of heartache. She had carried the weight of their broken marriage for so long, but now, with the bitter sting of his betrayal fresh in her mind, she wasn't holding back. Without hesitation, she confronted Todd and made it clear it was over. And in one of the most dramatic moments of the entire ordeal, Kandi pushed Todd out of their home, physically shoving him as she told him to never return. "Take Kaela with you. Don't ever show your face here again," she told him. It wasn't just words. This was her taking control, showing Todd that she wouldn't be a victim any longer. The shockwaves from that moment spread fast. Kandi's move was bold, but it also mirrored something she had seen before, the time when Todd had kicked her mother out of the house during a similar emotional explosion. When Todd pushed Kandi's mom away, it was because he felt that their family
family was in danger, that protecting his daughter was the only way to ensure safety. But Kandi had now taken that same action, returning the favor in the most dramatic way possible. Todd thought he could control everything by making decisions for everyone else. Now, Kandi had taken control of her own life, and she was making it clear that there would be no more room for